You better believe we're gonna take this thing off some sweet jumps. Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric here with Iraq Veteran 8888. Had to have a little fun there in the intro. Little shout out to our buddy Hickok 45 there with his crazy biking escapades. He's not the only one that can get a little crazy on a bike. Anyway, I digress. I definitely want to take a moment to thank our friends at Gun Zone Deals for providing this particular bike for us to check out today. This is an electric bike, but it is a hybrid of a mountain bike and an electric bike. Really, really cool setup. There's not a heck of a lot of stuff out there on these things yet, so we thought it'd be cool to get one of these in and really take a look at it and see what it's all about. The intended market of these types of bikes, primarily, at least, recently, has really been military, law enforcement, but they are trying to reach out to more hunters and fishermen and outdoorsmen, folks that are, maybe preppers, survivalists, bug out type of arrangement, or maybe you just love to, get out into the backcountry and maybe you're not in the shape to go on a 20-mile bike ride and you need a little bit of help from a motor, right? So it is a hybrid bike. It is intended to be used exactly like a standard mountain bike. So you still pedal, shift, brake and everything, just like a normal mountain bike. It does use rear and front hydraulic disc brakes. Uses a 48-volt lithium-ion battery. Okay, it's a welded aluminum frame, so an alloy frame, very, very strong, good-looking welds on this particular bike. The motor in this unit is from Bafang, and it uses a Shimano drive system. Really, really tough, right? Can take a lot of abuse. It's really interesting. You sort of have to get used to it because you still ride it like a normal bike. So you get on it, you start pedaling, and then depending on, all right, if I just power this guy up, we've got an LCD screen here, and I'm gonna explain this more in the road test. The power assist on this particular bike is actually tied to the throttle. So if you don't have the power assist set to 5, you're not gonna get the full effect when you press the throttle. So in order to get full power out of the bike, you have to have the pedal assist set to the 5 setting. So right now the bike is on. Let's just say, like I'm not sitting on it right now, but if I wanted to hit the throttle and get the full power of the motor, I mean, see, it'll try to take off on you. Now, you don't treat this thing like a moped, right? It's not electric only. You don't get on it and thumb through it. You won't get hardly any battery life if you do that. Its intended purpose is to support the rider in their normal biking activities. I have taken this bike on and off-road in a considerable amount of different situations and different inclines. I am not an experienced mountain bike rider. We took it over to our local place here, Dawson Trails, and did a little bit of riding. And it is quite effortless to take this bike off-road into some sketchy territory. Now, the wider tires, it has these Kendra, they are 26-inch fat wheels from Kendra. So it is a very wide tire that would be very different than a standard, mountain bike tire, okay? But it's quite comfortable to ride off-road. Of course, we have this multi-cam finish on this one, but they are available in some different finish options. There are an entire myriad of different accessories for this bike. Trailers, game trailers. They make a trailer that you can actually put like your cooler on and put your fishing poles on it. So if you want to take like a fishing adventure and go way out into a rural part of the beach, you could do so. There are people hauling deer out of the woods with these things with the trailers. So they are intended to definitely handle a load. And, normally if you were to hook up a trailer to a mountain bike and try to haul a 200-pound deer out of the woods with you and your gear and the animal, that would definitely be a taxing situation. Now, it's definitely going to put a damper on your battery life to do that, but it is capable of helping you get your game out of the woods. You just want to keep that in mind. It's a great bike. You can get the additional batteries for this bike for about 400 bucks. So we'll talk about battery life real quick. On one charge, this bike will run 25 to 30 miles an hour with you pedaling and in full motor mode. I mean, it will get down and go, especially, out on the hardball. Now, you do have the ability to get extra batteries. You do have your accessory rack back here, so if you had a small backpack and wanted to take along a couple of spare batteries, you could certainly extend the range of this bike just by doing a battery swap. And you can still ride the bike as a traditional bike without using the motor if you need to. The bike is a little bit heavy. I've noticed maneuvering it in and out of a vehicle or like the bed of a truck. The bike is over 70 pounds, so it's much heavier than a standard bike. You've got the motor and the battery, and this frame is super well built. It is definitely a bike that can handle, you know, the hard use of being off-road and everything like that. All right, we're gonna take this guy on a road test here in a minute, but before we do, I wanna mention to you the way that you put this into the higher power mode. For the road test, we're gonna keep it in the 750 watt mode because we really wanna test like the battery life, and we wanna see on the lower end of the power spectrum how it handles on the road. But to put it into the higher level of power, you hit the I here, tap it twice. You're gonna see display setting, information, and exit. Go ahead and hit it again to get into the display setting. And you're gonna scroll down to use the up and down arrows, the plus and minus arrows, to go down to where it says speed limit, okay? So to get down into the 750 watt mode, I would put this down to like 25 miles an hour or so, kind of lower, right? You can kind of play with that. You can see there it reads out 23 miles an hour. It's gonna limit the speed of the bike, okay? So for the road test, we'll put it in the lower mode, but to get up higher, you just turn this up. So I'll turn this all the way up to 40. Go ahead and push the I button again, and this is where you actually get into the back end of the unit itself. You can change the brightness and your auto on, auto off. You can change the mode that the bike is in from sport to economy mode, your different views, percentages, your trip reset, all of those metrics that you want to add. Sensitivity, you can password lock it, set your clock. We're going to go ahead and just go to back, exit, and we're ready for the road test. I'm gonna wear my battle belt and my chest rig, I should say, and I'm gonna put on a full weight bump helmet with a camera. And what I'm trying to do here is kind of see, all right, what would a guy be going through in his everyday duties as a cop or a soldier, having to carry all that extra gear and manipulating this bike, and would it help you in that situation? All right, guys, we're gonna perform the first portion of our road test here. And so the way that your LCD readout is, you've got a couple of different modes, but basically the more you turn this up right here, okay, right now we got it on 2. You can set it between 1 and 5, okay? 5 is the maximum power. So when you start pedaling, it's gonna automatically give you the maximum power if it's set on 5. We're gonna go down to 2. And what I'll do is, because of the position I'm sitting in, I'm kind of at a weird angle, and I've got the seat way up so that my legs are extended fully when I'm pedaling. I'm gonna go ahead and wait for this truck to go by because I don't wanna lose a battle with a truck here. Let's let him go by here real quick. Hey, pal. All right, pal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the throttle over here to go ahead and get myself started, okay? That helps get me rolling. All right, I'm gonna shift down. And right now I'm actually using the throttle. Okay. I'm gonna shift down. Okay. We're going, we are going 20 miles an hour. Okay. All right, and I'm gonna let off the throttle. So now we're in mode 2 on this LCD screen, okay? All right, we got a good bit of a hill coming up right here. I'm not sure how well you can tell. Ooh, starting to strain. All right, if I have to pick up, or I can get up and pedal like this, or I can hit the throttle. Woo! Okay, and that helped gets me up the hill. All right, I can coast. Now that I got a little bit of a dip here, let off the throttle. And the whole time I've been pedaling, of course. This is great. Very comfy bike to ride. Okay, the LCD screen gives you a good bit of information, okay? Lots of different metrics. The distance you've traveled, how many calories you've burned, your overall effectiveness in terms of your battery consumption, okay? Right now I'm going 21 miles an hour. Woo! I've got all this gear on. I'm probably wearing about 35 pounds of gear. Woo! Not for the faint of heart. So if you want to coast a bit and take a break, you can. Hit the throttle. I'm going 20 miles an hour. Okay? I'm still pedaling, going downhill. So we are at 25 miles an hour, 26 miles an hour, 27. All right, we're gonna coast. This is nice, going downhill. Okay, that was a big hill. So what we'll do, all right, I'm gonna find a spot to turn around here. Make sure I'm not in anybody's way. Okay, now we're on a kind of flat surface down here. Okay, let me turn around. It's a little downhill, but this will give you an idea. Woo, nice brisk ride. Okay, so before I used the throttle to help get myself started. This time I'm gonna start pedaling, and this is just one of those things that you've sort of got to get used to. So the motor picks up in whatever power you got it set in when you start pedaling. So I'm in mode 2. If I want, let me get out of the way here before I get ran over. If you want more power to the wheels when you start pedaling, you can set this to a higher setting. 3, 4, 5, whatever. Most people leave it set to 2. It just gives you a little bit of help, a little bit of a boost. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pedaling. Oh yeah, I'm gonna shift down. All right, so I wanna talk about that real quick. So you still ride this thing like a normal mountain bike. So you still have to shift. You still have to keep that in mind, right? So you still shift just like a normal mountain bike. You still pedal like a normal mountain bike, okay? Now we're getting on that big hill that I came down just a second ago. Get up this hill with very minimal effort. So not a ton of effort to get up the hill when the motor takes over, okay? And then once I get up on a flat, I can let off. I'm still pedaling the whole time. It's no big deal. Good stuff. All right, that throttle is a must-have. When you got lots of gear to contend with, you need that little extra push to get through the hill. You got some rough terrain you're gonna go over, definitely a must-have. Woo! I'm not having to stand up and pedal. I'm not having to really struggle that much. All right, we come up to a hill here. I wanna conserve some power. Let off the throttle. Take it easy. All right. Shift up into 7th gear. I'm going 21 miles an hour on my own. No throttle. I've only got it set to 2 power. You start getting a little bit more resistance, shift down, give it a little throttle. Easy. All right. Good stuff. Make sure I'm not gonna get ran over here. All right. Wow. Very, very enjoyable riding experience. Very nice. All right, we just got off the road test. Well, actually, we didn't, but I did the road test yesterday. And I do want to mention, this bike is excellent. Now they do have a couple of different models that aren't quite as robust as this one. So they do make some, this is the top of the line model they make. They do have some that are not as expensive and don't have all the bells and whistles if that's something you're looking for. Contact Nate over there at Guns on Deals. They are retailing these bikes now. They're excellent bikes. They do have some payment plans and things. So if it's a lot of money to pinch off and you want to set up on a payment plan, they do offer that type of thing. This is a really great bike. And I think a lot of people are starting to, be tired of, being cooped up in the house all the time. They want to get out and spend time with their family. They want to get out and exercise, get out and enjoy the outdoors, get out of the house a bit. And there's been a huge resurgence in this type of stuff. And I'll admit, I'm not a mountain biker. Chad's more of the biker than I am, but I've really enjoyed spending time with this bike and I intend to ride it a heck of a lot more. Thanks a lot for watching. We really appreciate y'all. Have a great day. I'd like to take a moment to thank all of our Patreon supporters, those of you who purchase man cans, t-shirts over on Ballistic Ink. Thank you so much for believing in us and supporting us in what we do. Have a great day. Many more videos on the way, and we will be cutting more videos with the Recon Power Bikes Ranger. I love this bike, and you'll see more of it soon. Have a good one. We'll see you.